I'm Chris for MyMMANews.com, being joined by Christos Giagos, very successful in his UFC return at UFC 262, taking on Sean Soriano, and he put him in a Darce choke and absolutely put him to sleep in the second round. Absolutely impressive performance by my man Christos. How are you, my friend? How are you?
I am doing fantastic, actually. I'm definitely living the highest of my life right now. Probably the highest I've ever been. It's my first performance bonus, and it wasn't only a bonus; it was a bonus and a half, to be honest. So, everything's bigger in Texas, so I'm feeling good, feeling really good.
You led me right into my first question, man. I was gonna say one, it absolutely has to feel impressive, or it has to feel fantastic to get back in such impressive fashion after getting married. On top, you got the bonus check, so you just must be on top of the world right now.
Oh yeah, definitely on top of the world. I had a great wedding. I mean, it was supposed to be a big wedding, but since COVID happened, we postponed the big one. But we still wanted to keep our date, so we kept the date. It's our 7-year anniversary, so now we start all over, but we don't have to change the date. But it was great. I got to have a little bit of fun on my wedding. It was early enough to kind of do, and yeah, man, I had a great camp. I finally had like a full camp. I haven't had one of those in a while. A completely full camp. My last two fights one was 3 days notice. The other one was 3.5 weeks notice. So it feels good to like jump in and actually prepare for somebody who ended up changing anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I it's always something that's changing, especially in the crazy times of COVID, man. With the pandemic, it's just there's short notice. There's this person pulling and whatnot. So, I mean, it is what it is, and a win is a win. But how did it feel to fight in front of a crowd again, man?
Oh, it felt amazing. It felt amazing. And it reminded me why I got into business. I'm definitely an entertainer. I feed off the crowd. I've known multiple fights. When I hear the crowd, it keeps me going. And it makes me want to do better. And it pushes me a lot harder. And I feel like I'm breaking out of my shell finally, 27 fights later. Well, in the beginning of my career, I had a lot of finishes, and getting to the UFC is just I think maybe I've been a little conservative because I really wanted to win, so I was trying to win more than I was trying to show what I can actually do, and I feel like I'm breaking out of my shell and I'm getting a little more comfortable and. I got to take risks, and the risks are going to get you those rewards, and that's what I did this fight.
And I got to follow up with what you were just saying, just following into your own and learning well, not learning, but displaying the new tricks. And for Soriano, he's known predominantly for a striker. Obviously, your wrestling was very key in this fight, but in the first round alone, you guys were cracking. You in the first 30 seconds wobbled him. So I mean, you got to show some of your striking. I mean, you looked very comfortable, is what I'm saying. And so you saying that you finally felt like you were coming to your own, you're getting comfortable after all this time, it's definitely now showing. Would you agree?
Definitely. I've definitely felt like a lot comfortable on my feet. I did get hit a little more than I would imagine, but obviously he's a good striker. He capitalized on me not bringing my back foot. I couldn't get out of the way as fast as I'm used to. But to be overall, my balance was a lot better this fight. I'm handling the adrenaline a lot better. Obviously, there's still work to do, but I got to definitely showcase, and I'm glad I got to make it entertaining. You can't be perfect every fight, and you're gonna get hit. It's part of the game, and he's a great striker. He actually has a good wrestling background too. I heard.
Mm.
I heard someone say he was a state champion. I don't know how true that is. I haven't looked it up myself, but he definitely had good wrestling defense, and I've seen him win fights with his wrestling. So um, this going into this fight, like I feel like trying to take him down was a lot harder than my last opponent. My last opponent is a lot easier to take down. Just is pretty good off his back, so a little bit different. But I didn't want to change the game plan. I worked 10 weeks in developing a game, and I just had to stick to it.
I mean, from the presser, you seemed pretty hard on yourself after such an impressive performance. I mean, putting the guy to sleep and everything. Now that you've had a couple days to let it settle in, like you said, you're at your mom's house. She's making you a fantastic dinner as we
Yeah.
speak. Now that you've gotten some time to let it settle in, how do you feel about your performance now looking back?
Now that I got to watch it, I felt like I actually did really great. It was hard to judge because you kind of black out a little bit with the adrenaline. So I got to go back and watch it, and we both hit each other pretty well. He got me, I got him. It was very good back and forth. I got some takedowns, took us back. There's a lot that happened that first round, and I'm very proud with how it went. It always is different when you get to watch your own film, because you don't feel or remember the good things you did, and I don't even remember hearing my coaches, but apparently I did, because I was checking in with them and I was actually listening to some stuff they were saying. So I guess I just kind of black out and just visualize and get super focused, and with that adrenaline, I always have to look back. I just remember bits and pieces. So yeah.
When you cracked him in the first round, in that first 30 seconds, I do remember Joe Rogan saying something like, listening to the crowd. Is he going to react to the crowd? And what was going through your head when you cracked him? Because, like I said, he did wobble. He stumbled backwards, and you jumped right on him. So what was going through your head?
So actually, it's cool to see the growth of me, because when I fought Mizuto Hirota back in 2018 in December, I rocked him early. He hit his knee to the ground, and I heard the crowd get excited, and I pounced him, and I was trying to finish, and doing so, I blew my gas tank a little bit trying to do that. So I've been, in my head a lot, like if I hurt him, to stay calm. So it was really cool to see me handle it better, because I hurt him, but then I see him regain himself pretty well, and I didn't want to pounce him, leave myself open, get out of breath. But I've actually changed some stuff up in my camp for my cardio, because I've been known to fade, and I don't feel like I faded the least bit this fight at all. So I like what I'm doing, and like I said, I felt it in my sparring how good my cardio has been in my sparring, and I'm able to do more risks, because I don't have to be so conservative on my energy anymore, because I feel like the big things I'm doing, which is like running a lot more, is helping. I ran 10 miles under 7 minutes a mile, so I feel like I'm getting used to keep my heart rate up.
So the first stoppage since 2016, how does that feel, man? Because it's been a while, but again, like you said, you've been growing, you've shown your growth, but a stoppage is always what everybody's shooting for. So how does it feel finally get back in that, putting a stamp on it?
Feels fantastic. It kind of feels like about time, but fantastic. I've came close. I always try to finish fights. I've came close to finishing the last couple. I had Jakarta deep rear naked. It looked like he tapped. I dropped a couple people. My last guy, I had him in some deep situations. It's just, I guess the trigger wasn't getting pulled, and it was only a matter of time.
It was very slick. As soon as you went for it, it almost looked like it instantaneously locked on. Obviously, shortly after that, he went to sleep. Once you did lock it, did you know it was going to be the end of that fight? Did you know he wasn't getting out?
Once I trapped the leg and flipped him over, I knew it was done. I just was a little worried, because he didn't really struggle. But then I kind of felt him go limp, and I was like looking back, ref, he's out. He's out. But I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go until he stopped it.
You made the perfect point, man. I mean, like, look what happened recently. So, yeah. So, any word on that Cowboy fight?
Nothing yet. I'm sure it reached him. Hopefully he accepts. I know he might not want to get back until a little later anyway, which I'm totally cool with, because I'm going to be going through a move to Florida in 2 months, and I'm just still got to decide whether I'm going to do a camp out there or I'm going to come out here and do it. So there's just some things I got to get with myself, but hopefully he takes the fight. I think we can definitely bring a lot of momentum behind it. Especially with how I performed in his last fight. They can hype it up, and if he wants to do it later in the year, like September, I'd love nothing more than to wait for that. So hopefully it sticks.
In a hypothetical situation, obviously, how do you feel you fare in a Cowboy fight?
I think I would do well. I think I would definitely have to be careful. He's very dangerous. He has a gas tank and he comes forward, but I do think he's has a lot of miles on him. It showed his last fight, showed his last couple. He has a lot of miles. We don't know how much damage he can take, and I know I do hit hard. So I will come after him, and it's either he's gonna get finished or I'm gonna get finished. I don't see that fight going to a decision. I'll tell you that.
So now that everything's said and done, man, when can we expect to see you back in that cage?
As soon as they give me some information. Like it all depends. So I am gonna go through a move right now. If they offer me somebody soon, like to step back right away, and it's a tough fight. It might be tough right now because I do want to get a full camp to train for somebody, and I'm going to be in the midst of moving all the way to Florida and handling all that stuff. But that's why I'm hoping for the Cowboy, because I know he'd want it later in the year and it would just fit perfect. But if they give me somebody I think I match up well with and I can make it work, we'll see what happens. So it just all depends.
So I gotta ask, man, with getting married recently and that fresh win bonus, is there a fun honeymoon on the horizon?
After the big wedding in October. October 2nd is going to be a big wedding,
Hmm.
a huge one. That's why I really hope I can fight by September.
Hmm.
It'll definitely make the difference, but I'll make it work no matter what.
Awesome.
And but yes, we're gonna go to Greece as
Oh,
soon as yeah, I'm full Greek. I got family out there. They want to see me. I got a lot of support out there, so we'll go to Greece to Mykonos or Santorini or something and enjoy ourselves. And I definitely want to buy her something nice because she's been a rock through this whole process.
that's awesome, man. Well, tell the fans how they can get up with you on social media, fight news, everything, as well as your sponsors. Floor's yours, brother.
Yeah, just to be honest, guys, I just use Instagram. I don't like to be on my phone a whole lot, and I don't want to have to click a bunch of different things. So Instagram is my main thing I use. It's C Giagos, my first initial last name underscore UFC, and that's where I announce most my news and everything. And right now, I'm looking for sponsors. So anybody who wants anything to do, let's link up.
Awesome, Christos. It was an absolutely impressive, wonderful performance. You looked so good in there. I can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see what's going to happen next, man. And I look forward to seeing you back in there. Thank you so much for your
Appreciate
time.
it. I appreciate you having me on.
There he
Again.
goes, Christos Giagos, and he took out Sean Soriano. It took place at UFC 262, putting him to sleep via Darce choke in the second round. What can I say for this man? You don't want to miss him when he fights in the future. And for Christos Giagos, I am Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to MyMMANews.com for all your fight news needs.